Just talk about
My name is John Kirk. I'm a pop culture writer for popmythology.com, Trek Core, and Back Issue. And it's my distinct pleasure to host the dynamic stars of the Smash game Overwatch, Jen Cohn, Pharah, and Anjali Bhimani. Give it up, please.
This is Jen.
I'm Jen. Hi. This is so nice.
Oh, can I ask for a favor to begin with? Can all of the people who are in Overwatch cosplay today stand up?
Yes.
I want to see it all. Yes!
Oh,
Oh, that is Mercy, right? Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
Look at you.
Look at that. Wow.
Great.
You guys look great.
Woo!
Oh, we love the cosplay in this community so much. What you guys do is so incredible. Sorry, I just totally bogarted your control over this.
No,
I
go.
just get so excited. You guys look so
excited.
fantastic.
That's got to be one of the cool things about this game, though, is that you have such a diverse range of people, of like your audience, your fans. They come from all ages, backgrounds, and they put so much into this. You guys are the sound, and they put the visual together. Like, it's just so cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's pretty. See it.
It's pretty extraordinary, too, because I think both of us were in the same boat that we didn't really know. Certainly when we signed on to do the game, or to do the job, we didn't even know what the game actually was until we got to our sessions. She actually thought, she has a great story about her about going in for that I'm sure she'll tell you in a little bit.
Yes.
But, so we didn't know what these characters looked like when we first auditioned for them. And then to see them in all their glory, and then to see you guys create these new versions of them in yourselves is really, really special. It's really inspiring. Thank you so
What
much.
she said.
That was so much
So
love.
perfect.
Thank you so much for having a sign interpreter, too. That's
I
fantastic.
love that. Thank
That's
you.
wonderful.
So
Thank you.
good.
Yeah, let's give it up for the sign interpreter,
Thank
folks.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, but I've got to ask this question. How did you both manage to get into the roles?
You go first, because
Get our roles, our
That's
jobs
the
in this
story.
game.
How did you get them?
Here's the story.
I'm going to sit back and drink my tea, because this is good.
So I had already done voices for World of Warcraft. So the people at Blizzard knew me, right? It was awesome. And so when they were casting it, the game was still in development. So Andrea Toyas, who's the voice director at Blizzard, sent my agent an audition for me because she had me in mind. And so I get this audition, and it says that she's an aggressive offense player, and she has these very forward lines. So I immediately assume this is a villain. I'm like, this has to be a villain. So I do this super villainous audition, like this villain Pharah. Oh, and the game had a code name at the time. It was called Prometheus, and Pharah had a code name. So I had no idea. And when you're a voice actor, you could do 5 auditions in a day, every day. So you do it, you send it out, you forget it. So I did this villain thing, I send it in, no biggie. 6 months later, I get a call that I've booked a character called Pharah in a game called Overwatch, and my session is on my birthday. And I'm like, that's great. I call my agent, I said, it's great, but I never auditioned for this. There must be another Jen Cohn, because Jen Cohn is like the John Smith of Jewish girls. So I totally assume that they've got the wrong person. But my agent insists I go to the session, and I go to the session, and the first session I've got in my earphones Jeff Kaplan and Andrea Toyas and Michael Chu, our head writer, and I say, guys, I'm so sorry, you got the wrong Jen Cohn. I never auditioned for this. And they're like, no, you did. I'm like, no, really, I didn't. I have no idea what this is. I didn't audition for this. I don't know. And they play me villain Pharah. And I go, oh my God, that's what this is? I have no idea. And so they said, but she's not a villain. Think of her as the Captain America of the game. Yeah. She's Captain America. And I went, okay. And that was the session that we found the voice. And that was the session that we established a lot of, her traits. And afterward, my agent said to me, she's like, I think this is going to be a really big deal. And I went, right, okay, whatever. Totally didn't buy into it. And then, and here we are. And here we are, 4.5 years later. Here we are.
Crazy, right?
So good. good.
My story's not nearly as funny, and I wish it was. But I was actually, here's the cool part about it, is it's a testament to saying yes even under not the greatest of circumstances. So I was traveling in London at the time, and I was about to leave for basically what was going to be an all-night event leading into me running back to my hotel at 7 o'clock in the morning and then getting on a plane back to Los Angeles. And so around 5:30, as we were leaving the hotel to head out, I got the email from my agent saying, we need you to put yourself on tape for this and record and send it back to us, and it has to be in this time frame. And I realized the only chance I was going to have to do that was when I got back to my hotel at 7 o'clock in the morning after not sleeping all night, and then before I got on my plane. So, okay, that's what you do. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, kind of with my eyes crossed and, you know, bleary-eyed and whatnot, I recorded it on my phone.
I
was
thought
like,
you did it in the car.
No.
Oh,
I did not do
okay.
it in the car. That would be impressive.
Right.
Impressive.
Yes.
That'd be a lot of background noise. So I did it in the hotel, and I was, you know, it was my poor husband. I was like, just be quiet for a couple of minutes. I gotta do this thing. Okay, I love you. I'm gonna go. And I completely, like she said, you do so many of these, you kind of forget about them, and they take a while to let you know whether you've gotten them or not. So I completely thought there's no chance in hell that this is going to come through. There's absolutely no chance. I just did it so, I was so tired. But again, here we are. We found out a few weeks later that it worked out. And so it just reminds me that no matter how tired you are or where you are in the world, when they ask you to do an audition, you do your best to do it and make it happen, because you never know.
Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Just say yes. As long as it's an audition for something legal. Everyone make sure of that. If you're under 18, have your parents check it out. Okay.
So what about switching from doing regular theater, stage, film, and TV to voiceovers for games? What's the pros and cons and fun between those two shifts?
Oh, I love doing voices for video games, for animation, for all of that, because it doesn't matter what you look like, and it doesn't matter. I mean, you can look like anything, and if they can draw something fantastical, and if you can contort your body to look like how that character would be bent and make your voice sound like that as a result, then you can be it. It doesn't matter what age you are, what color you are, what build you are. It doesn't matter if you're too heavy or too thin or too schnozzy or whatever. Like, you can be these amazing things and then do these fun voices. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. And there's something really thrilling, for me at least, how quickly you have to work when you do animation or voiceover, because they give you, you know, they won't send you a script in advance. It's not like you get to study it. It's not like you have any idea in most cases, well, certainly in gaming, what you're talking about or what's happening. So you have to sort of commit to a character and make split-second decisions, which creates very authentic, spontaneous performance. So it's very exciting to do it. It's sort of thrilling, and you're very much on for the whole length of your session. Yeah. It's fun.
And in terms of the difference between that and theater and television and musicals or whatever, I just find that they're all, it's like the difference between speaking Spanish and French. At the root is the same things. At the core, you're a storyteller. At the core, you're there to convey this particular character's journey, one way or the other, to this audience. Whether your audience is an audience of gamers, it's an audience that's sitting in front of you, it's an audience that's on watching their television. So the difference is more about how you use this instrument, being your body and your mind and your heart. And with voice acting, you may use all of this, but you have to funnel it all into your voice. When you're in the theater, it's, you know, you got this whole instrument and you are using it for that train leaves the station and you are going. There is no stopping. And I grew up, my whole career for the first half of it was theater. And musicals and stuff like that. And I think that that's actually really great training for voiceover work,
Yes.
because you end up training your voice so much to be able to project very far, to be able to convey intimate things to a large group of people. So all of them kind of interweave within each other. But at the core, acting is acting, and voice acting, you still have to be a really good actor to be a good voice actor. You can't. There's no bad actor who's being a
Successful voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. To add on to what Anjali is saying, in my experience at least, for theater, for film, it's a game of preparation. The more prepared you are in those
Yeah.
mediums, the freer you can be and the looser you can be. And you actually can like make big choices because you're so prepared and you know it. Whereas with voice acting, because it's so instant, it's so immediate, you have to have really well-honed instincts. So it's not about the specific project, it's about you understanding your instrument and how
Sure.
to get that stuff out of your voice. It's really fun.
But there is the bonus of not having to memorize anything.
That is a bonus.
So you get to take that. So
That
you
is
get to take
good.
that off of your, you take that out of your worry box, out of your brain. Not worry about that, so you can really create openly as long as you can read it. So that's really fun. So basically, it's all really fun.
Yes.
I like doing all of them, and I will do all of them as long as they let me.
Yay.
Are there any performers who influence you, or any role models that you have that you channel when you're performing?
I want to be Helen Mirren. Like now, not even when I grow up. I want to be Helen Mirren. A lot of the Brits, I find, have been very inspirational to me, largely because they do everything. Patrick Stewart was theater god and was in I, Claudius and all of that before he became Jean-Luc Picard. And so everybody has this multifaceted instrument when they train over there. So I think Sir Ian McKellen, Gary Oldman,
Marina Sirtis.
So many.
Judi Dench.
So good.
There's so many. We have a tremendous resource of actors in the world these days, and a lot of the people that I work with. For Symmetra's new Ultimate, my direction was, this is Symmetra's Justice Reigns from Above. And I was like, cool, I got inspired by my girl Jen. Yay! I get to so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna like totally channel Jen. Oh, yeah. I love it.
My inspirations as voice acting are more sort of along the lines of that. Depending on the character that I'm doing, I then will think about a particular performance or a particular character that I've seen in a film or a particular actor and their way of doing things. And it's just sort of me thinking like, I'll find myself sometimes in an audition being like, how would Jane Lynch do this? Something, or like when I was doing Zash for the Old Republic, for Star Wars The Old Republic, I kept on thinking my favorite of all time, Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, yes.
I just kept on thinking, I'm like, how would Frank do this? Like, what would Frank's? So I'll find specific performances or specific characters or specific actors that inspire me. But the greatest voice actor of all time is Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc, none of us would even have the field if it weren't for Mel Blanc. He was unbelievable. So he's my favorite of all time.
And also, I'm gonna toss in Robin Williams.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because especially if any of you have a chance to watch that documentary on Robin Williams, I don't care what you plan to do for a living, it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful documentary on living big and having a huge heart despite all of the struggles that he went through. And you see how he turned everything that was going on inside into something beautiful for people to consume, whether he was face-to-face with them or whether he was performing. And that a huge inspiration.
I haven't seen it. Oh. I need to see it.
It's so good. It's so good. Bring a box of Kleenex.
Okay.
It's very sad, but it's very beautiful.
I got to see it.
Okay, so delving back into your careers, is there a role that stands out for each of you? Ooh, that's a tough one.
Can I pick one per medium?
I know, right? I really love all of them. Zash was a party. I had a really good time with that. But probably my favorite gig I ever got, I was the utility player. I did all of the female characters for a show called Assy McGee. And it was the most fun job because they would send me it and I was like this huge breadth of different characters and different ages and different situations and they'd like, I'd be recording it and the directors would be like, okay, make her fatter. Okay, make her fatter, make her fatter. Now make her Cuban. Now make her, and it was so much fun.
That sounds like an acting class.
Right, and it was
now
just
you're
so
a
much
bear.
fun. Right, it was a party. It was the most fun and super creative and very quick. It was great. I loved that job. Yeah.
Wow. I think for stage there have been two. One is a character I played in a play called Metamorphoses, and it's actually several
amazing play.
characters that I played. And this show is so close to my heart, and it's a series of Greek myths, and it's set in a pool of water, so we're wet the whole time. And so the track that I played in that particular show was very special to me, particularly the role of Mura, who is a young girl who is cursed with a very forbidden love, and you watch her go through the struggles that she has to deal with in that. And then the other one is like this super cool character that I got to develop with the playwright after she had sent me the script from a play called Roof of the World, and her name is Safia Das. And Safia Das is a pundit, which in 1870s in India and in the region that is now northern India and the Himalayas, the British actually conscripted Indian people to spy for them. So I was an undercover spy for the British, masquerading as a boy for the first half of my life.
Wow.
So I got to swing from ropes across the stage, I got to tumble, I got to sword fight, then I get to wear Victorian clothes, and it's a beautiful, sweeping, epic love story with everything in it. Like it's just like nom, 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 nom. Everything you want to do, everything you want to do in a play is in that. It's so delicious. And then I know I'm talking too much. Sorry. And then TV. Recently, I got to play like this 60-year-old mother, a cancer patient, which sounds like a very sad role, but this is a woman who ended up having this tremendous change, and I had the most fun scene I could ever imagine doing, where I get to TP someone's house and set fire to their lawn, and then get flipped over someone's shoulder when we're running away from that. Like, it was ridiculous. So it's a show called Kevin Probably Saves the World. You can find it on ABC. Super, super fun. I play India Beaufort's mother, and it's hands down, every time I see a clip from that again, I'm just like, I just get giddy because it was so much fun to shoot.
Oh my gosh.
And then obviously for voice acting, let's be honest, like Symmetra's been the life-changing one, so I'm very attached to her. Yeah.
Speaking of television, so we've got some great, fantastic shows on television going on right now, and if you had a chance to cast yourself in a role on one show that's going on right now, what would it be?
Boo. See, Game of Thrones is ending, so I can't be the character. I had a character lined up in my brain for it, and I really wish I missed the opportunity because I was going to make an audition. I was going to write the scene and just send it and be like, y'all need to put this in the show because I love it. The end. But she was going to be a friend of Tyrion's that I had created in my wicked little brain. God, there's so many good shows.
There's so many.
Yeah.
I know.
I want to be on
one.
all of them.
I know. Off the top of my head, I haven't thought about this. The two things I could think of is if anyone has seen Babylon Berlin. Has anyone seen Babylon Berlin?
No.
Oh my God. It's the most amazing show. So I would want some sort of role in that, but I don't speak any German. So I have no idea how it would work because it's all in German.
That's like everybody trying to tell me to go do Bollywood. I'm like, you guys, I would be the Arnold Schwarzenegger of Bollywood.
Exactly. It would be so great.
I would be like, get down.
No.
I wouldn't know what to do. I would be like, I don't know how to, come on, a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know a word of German, but I love that show. So I would want to be in that show,
That's
even though I
cool.
don't. Or I want my own episode in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I would have been so good with my own episode in that. I should be like Susie Essman's cousin or something. Something like that.
Plan. Every time someone asks me what I'm watching on TV right now, I'm like, bzzzt, I completely forget. But I would love to be on Peaky Blinders.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be Peaky.
Yeah.
I want to be an evil. I want to be a bad guy on Peaky Blinders. and also The Expanse. Do any of you watch The Expanse? Oh, I love that show. And I have a bunch of friends. Oh, and American Gods.
This is a very fun game. I know.
Okay,
know.
so no. American Gods, I got so excited because they have Mama G coming in the second season, and Mama G is the goddess Kali incarnate. So I'm like, okay, I hope the show lasts past the book, and they can create more characters.
Yes.
And then I can be like, hey guys, because that's how you get roles. You just call people up.
Hi, it's me.
Hey guys, let me call you on this phone that doesn't look like anything people actually use in real life. Yeah, The Expanse is a really, really special show right now too, because similar to Overwatch, I think it deals with diversity in such an incredible way that they've shown this example of the future that is incredibly racially diverse, but there's still the tendency for people to be now they're planetist.
Wow.
You know, so they're dealing with social issues in the future so that they're far away enough from our reality that they can show us some of the things that we're doing wrong now. It's really a good show. If you don't watch it and you like sci-fi, get on it. It's really good.
This is the most fun question.
I know.
I want to be on Orange is the New Black.
Oh, yeah,
I
that
want
too.
that. I want to be on The Deuce. I totally want to be on The Deuce.
You would be awesome
I'd be
on The
amazing
Deuce.
on The Deuce. I'd be so good on The Deuce. Thank you.
Yeah,
This
we'll
is a
never
good
stop
one.
if you don't stop us.
I want
You just asked actors, what do you want to be on? And we're like, you sound like dolphins soon.
Well, I think actually at this point we're going to turn the time over to the audience and grab some
Excellent.
questions now. So if you
Awesome.
guys have a question, there's one right there.
Questions for Anjali. I was just wondering, since your personality is so bubbly and Symmetra has such a
Is not.
strong personality, who did you sort of base the voice? Like, did you base the voice off of?
I know her.
That's funny. Did everybody hear the question? Back there, did you guys hear it? No. She was asking, since I'm so bubbly, did I have to, who did I use as inspiration for the voice of Symmetra? Because Symmetra is not so bubbly. Every Indian auntie that I've ever had. As soon as the line, let us discuss your failures, came out, I was like, auntie, get out of my head. But actually, I do have a cousin who is more like a sister, and she's super elegant. And I call her the Queen of Mumbai because she can get anything done in 5 minutes in a city where nothing moves because there's so many people. So her voice, her actual voice pattern, for me is very similar to hers. It's a much more almost British Indian sounding voice. But yeah, no, there's a lot of judgmental auntie in Symmetra. It's not that she's judging, she's just evaluating, and she's finding you all not worthy at the moment. Like, she's like, why are you, I don't understand. Do better. Okay, thanks, Sim. Thanks so much.
Hi there.
This is for both of you. Everyone's favorite thing in Overwatch has to be the skins. So, are there any favorite skins of yours, or if there's any skins that you would like for your characters, which one would you like?
Dragon.
Oh.
Dragon all day. I love that skin.
I am partial to Asp and Mecha Queen. Those two I love. And if I could have my own, which I've already talked to them about because I want it. When I went to BlizzCon, I wore this crazy pair of flame boots. They're like my beloved platform flame boots. And several fan artists made skins with flames, a Pharah flame skin. And so I would love a Pharah like vintage flame skin. I think that would be amazing.
I think
my
that
2
would be
cents.
amazing. I vote yes on that too. And I
Yes.
totally have the asp skin loaded on my, I have to really pronounce that P. The asp skin loaded for Pharah on my PS4 right now.
So
So
good.
I'm with you on that.
Nice.
I think if I, a bunch of skins that I would want. But I've seen some fan art of Symmetra in like a 3-piece suit, because I wanted that Hanzo 3-piece suit thing before he showed up, and then he showed up, and I was like, thank you. So that, and then also in Indian mythology, there are these are the characters. There are these creatures called the Apsaras, which are divine dancing beings. And I think it would be really beautiful to do a very flowy Apsara skin for her. If anyone wants to look, if you look it up, it's It's either U or A, depending on how you spell it. Upsara. Apsara. It's hard because the letters aren't the same in Hindi as they are in English, so that's kind of how you spell it. Does that?
There's one right there.
I'm just curious, do you guys have a favorite like voice line to say as Pharah Symmetra?
Rocket jump. That sounds dangerous.
I like two right now. I mean, there's so many. It is really hard to pick, right? Because she's really good at throwing shade, but in a very elegant way. Like you're not really sure if she insulted you, but you think she might have. I love the original "Welcome to My Reality" because it's like you're in my world now. But also the new Ultimate. I love the new Ultimate, especially because it's the only line she has that's not "I'm calm, cool, and collected." It's the first time she's like, "Yes, yahi param vastavikta hai." They're like, "Ah, wall! There's a wall!" So yeah, that was really, really fun. And thank you again, Jen, for inspiring me and how I so say it. I'm like,
so
oh,
glad.
now I get it now.
Yeah.
That was really
The
fun.
justice.
But let us discuss your failures is pretty funny.
yes. Yes.
Like, really? That's what we're going to say? That's, seriously.
There's one right there.
Okay, I want to ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you really want to see your character show up in the next Overwatch animated short?
50.
9,682. Yeah. I mean, those animated shorts are so special. They're so beautifully done, and the stories that they tell have been so great. I think all of us want to have one.
We all want one. And considering that mine could be with Anna, it could be a 2-for-1, I think that we need to do it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
mine could be with Lucio. Or Baptiste. me.
What if it ends up being Symmetra and Pharah?
Wouldn't it be great? Oh my God.
Like,
It'd
how'd that happen?
Simra. Be perfect.
There's one right there.
Were you gamers yourselves before you got into voice acting on games, or have you become more gamers since?
Definitely the latter. No, I was not a gamer beforehand. I did a bunch of voices for Grand Theft Auto, and that was sort of when my awareness of it began and when I started dabbling a little bit. And then when I started doing Zash, then I was like, oh, okay, I better figure out some of this. And now, I mean, obviously, the Overwatch world, I mean, still I end up like missing updates and stuff, and I have to be like, okay, so what happened? Did I get buffed or nerfed? What happened? Like, I have to ask, I have like my people, I'm like, so what happened? Okay, what's going on with the new update? But no, definitely the latter for me.
I started gaming when I got my first Dungeons & Dragons basic intro set at age 8. Because I wanted to be my brother with long hair. And he played D&D, so he got me the basic set, and I devoured it. And so that was the beginning of my gaming, and I started there and then did the AD&D, which is now the 19th edition or whatever we're on now. I think it's the 5th edition that we're on now, right? And then I switched to doing it on the computer because playing campaigns takes a lot of time, and I was a very busy teenager. And so I switched to playing like Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate and all of that stuff. I was very into the RPGs, not so into the first-person shooters. With the advent of first-person shooters, I kind of backed away because I'm just not fast enough in my brain for that. So I probably stopped gaming for like a 10-year period, 10 or 12 years. And then this happened, and I was like, my people! I'm so happy! I have an excuse now. I'm like, oh no, I can totally write this off, tax preparer. I swear. This is really important for me to play Overwatch right now, even though I'm so bad at it.
Terrible.
So yeah, it's been nice. I had a nice little hiatus. Yeah.
Oh, right over there.
Question for Anjali. Has anybody offered you to do a buddy comedy with Carolina?
Offered me as in willing to pay to produce it? No. Many people have said they want to do it, and believe me, we want to do it.
Yay!
That we're dying to do it. I mean, we're always trying to come up with. Literally half of our time spent together is like, oh my God, what are we gonna write next? Are we gonna write a thing? Oh, we should write a thing that does that. And then we don't, like, we're so busy talking about what we're gonna write that we don't actually write it. So I think maybe we just need a taskmaster, preferably a producer with lots of money who really loves us. If there are any in the audience, you can find me at Anjali at iamfunsize.com. So yeah, we're definitely eager to do something.
There's one right there.
What is your favorite character to play Overwatch other than your role?
Have you?
Other than me, Junkrat, for sure. Totally, I love Junkrat. Although somebody came up to me today and said, Pharah grounded is Junkrat.
That's right.
That's right, you said it. There you are. Hi. Which I laughed. I said, oh, that's so funny. So
It's
yeah.
hilarious. But you don't get to say or
Yeah,
like all that fun
no,
stuff.
not as fun.
So it's not. It's not quite.
I know, but
I feel like Farah on a few drinks might be Junkrat.
Totally.
I hope that everybody in here is 18 or over. God, I'm so sorry. I'm not being very, very careful with what I'm saying today. Sleep deprivation. I love playing Reinhardt because I love hearing Darren DePaul's maniacally happy voice coming at me from the screen. That's one reason. But also, it's so the opposite of what I get to do in life. Instead, I get to be being there like, me smash things and shield people. Like, I love that kind of run-in kind of gameplay, which is one of the reasons why Symmetra is so hard for me, because I just want to run into everything. You run into, that's not, I don't know if you guys know this, but Symmetra can't do that. That's not a thing for her. You gotta be wily and use your brain cells. I don't have any brain cells when I'm playing Overwatch. I run into walls and fall off cliffs. But yeah, I love playing Reinhardt. I feel like I'm better at every character but Symmetra, but I try Symmetra more because I'm just stubborn.
So funny.
I think there was a question back there. Yeah, this gentleman there.
Hi. So I was wondering, like, in the mythos of your characters, like, have you ever had a thought of, like, oh, it would be so cool to see this type of character come into my mythos, like, say, like a brother or like a sister or like something to expand?
Storytelling. Yeah.
So, Aisha, who voices Anna, and I totally jumped Michael Chu when we were at BlizzCon. We're like, what's the deal with Farah's dad? Like that, what's the story? And he's like, what, Sam? He said, her dad is Sam. And we're like, Sam? Like, what's the, Sam? So Sam, right. So her dad is Sam. And just yesterday, somebody came up to me and said, Andrew said it. Where's Andrew? Is Andrew here? Andrew came up to me and said, well, you know, since they're saying that her dad is First Nations, you're probably a Canadian citizen. So Farah's probably Canadian. Right, so that's kind of exciting. So, but yes, I want to know more about Sam. What's the deal with Sam? What's the whole backstory?
What is the deal with Sam?
What's the deal with Sam?
Michael Chu is so funny that way. He'll just like drop things like that. Oh, you mean Sam?
Yeah, right, literally.
What?
Sam.
I don't know. Sam, sure.
We've never heard of Sam. Yeah.
Yes, of course. I mean, I would love us to see who Sanjay is. This mysterious Sanjay who is perhaps not so good a human, but that is connected to Symmetra and obviously vital in her world. I'd just like to see how she's connected to Overwatch, really, more than another character that's not in the game. Like, I'd really like to see how they're going to weave the story in, because so far we haven't really. She's a bit of an outlier story-wise.
Right here.
So you said that you sort of have to like put yourself into the character in the moment. What is something you each that is of yourself that you put into the character that's you, uniquely you, that you put into Pharah and Symmetra?
My aunties.
See, I want to make a joke.
It's an auntie milkshake. It's like, no, seriously, like I just kind of get very calm because everything she says is pretty under control. And usually, if anything, the direction that I'm getting from whoever's directing that session is, okay, a little bit less emotion. Be a little more a little simpler. So yeah, it's just very my unique combination of aunties.
I love that. So I want to make a joke because she's sitting in the front row. I want to say mother issues, but no, because my mom is here. but no, that's not that's not it. So when I was in college getting my BFA in acting, I had an advisor, and so when you're like getting into the meat of it, the end of your second year of school, your advisor talks to you about what you're going to be working on in order to get your degree. And my advisor sat me down and said, "Jen, you're like a very good piece of bread with way too much butter on it.
What the heck does that mean?
We need to scrape some of that butter off so that you can just be that great piece of bread." It's like the greatest ever. And as I have gone into adulthood, I realize she's absolutely right. I am way too buttery. I am a very buttery person. I got like lots of butter on it. And so,
but everything's better with butter.
Well, it's a lot of butter. It's a good piece of bread. But I feel like Andrea Toyas, through the voice sessions with me, through what I did, heard the bread without the butter. Because I think that Pharah is the bread without the butter. I think she is not a buttery girl. She is a very, she like the slightest bit of moisture, but she's really just straight out there. And so I get to tap into that part of myself and not like waka waka, like not all that, my over the topness in how I present in life. So,
gosh, if Pharah is just bread without butter, I think Symmetra's like stoned wheat crackers, like those dry crackers.
I think you had a question.
So, you guys talk about your favorite characters to play as besides your own. But what about just personality-wise or lore-wise? Is there other ones that you love?
Oh, so many. I love Anna. I want to be Anna when I grow up.
That's amazing.
Apparently, I want to be Anna and Helen Mirren. So maybe Helen Mirren and Anna can merge into one person. I love Sombra's backstory. I think she's really, really, really intriguing.
Widowmaker.
Yeah.
I that whole backstory. It's tragic. She's so complicated. I mean, you got to have a complicated background to get that dark. And I love Doomfist too.
Yeah.
I love Doomfist. Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. Now I'm thinking of everybody's backstory, and I'm like, oh, and that one too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's someone there.
So quickly going back to the question about the animated shorts, if you could sit down with Michael Chu and thought out what the animated short for your character would be about, what do you think it would be?
Honestly, I wouldn't even dream of doing that. Michael has created this unbelievable planet. Like I don't even know how he keeps it straight. And I know that he has it all planned. I think that he could be like, oh yeah, sure, well, so then this is gonna happen, and then this is why this one happened. And then he would just very nonchalantly lay the whole thing out.
We should both put on a disclaimer. We talk like this when we're talking like Michael Chu, but Michael Chu doesn't talk like this. He's totally like, he doesn't sound like some brosif
He does
from
a little
college.
bit.
He doesn't sound like this. He's totally not brosif, okay?
But he's very much like this. Like you wouldn't. He is. But I love you, Michael. No, I wouldn't even dream because he's got the whole thing woven. Like I remember when I was doing. Oh my God, what am I thinking? The Old Republic. There was a team of 12 writers who all would sit and weave the whole thing. I think Michael alone is just sitting and when he sleeps, he's doing this. So
it's impressive.
Leaving it to him, man.
Yeah. I too, I wouldn't, even if I did have ideas that I would want to give to him, I certainly wouldn't want to put them out here. And the main reason is because I love so much the fan fiction and the things that you guys create, the headcanon that you guys create before things become actual canon, that I wouldn't even want to put my thing out there because I want to see everybody else's. So I know it might sound like a cop-out, but I'm with Jen. I'm just waiting to see what Michael wants to tell of the story. Please tell the story, Michael.
Tell more.
I want to know more.
I think we've got time for one more question.
Can you guys do a couple swap voice lines in each other's in your character of the other's voice lines?
You want to do one for me?
Yeah, sure. Give me one. Give me a voice line.
Play nice, play Pharah.
Play nice, play Pharah. I'm not going to make it hard on you. I was like, let me give her the ultimate.
Oh my God. I know, right? I gotta try it. Give me that. Let's talk about your failures. How does it go?
Oh, yeah. Let us discuss your failures.
Let us discuss your failures. I love that.
Oh my God.
I love that.
That's so good.
Mickey, does that remind you of that?
She's like, her son's like, yep, that's you, Mom.
Yeah, it's just
well
like
done.
you. That's what you would say.
Right? It's like all my aunties. I don't. Why aren't you married? Let us discuss your failures. I did it, you guys. I got hitched. I'm good. I win.
Well, I'm sorry to say, all stories have to come to an end, and this has been such a great story. Ladies, thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
Join us.
Let's give it up, folks.
Come join us at our booth. Come say hi if you didn't get your question answered. We're there.
Yay! Yeah, please come by. Thank you.
Thank you very much.